Your anxiety isn't a monster hiding in the dark. It's a machine you built yourself. And the worst part? You keep feeding it. That tightness in your chest, that constant overthinking, that what-if spiral that keeps you awake at night, you act like it's some uncontrollable curse. It's not. It's manufactured, created, fueled by your own habits, your own choices, your own refusal to face life head-on. Let's stop sugarcoating. You don't have a broken brain. You have broken patterns. Every scroll, every late-night binge, every conversation you avoid, every time you say tomorrow instead of today, you're manufacturing anxiety. You're pulling the lever, cranking the gears, and then pretending the noise is coming from somewhere else. Here's a harsh truth. Anxiety thrives on avoidance. The more you run, the louder it gets. That conversation you dodge doesn't disappear. That decision you postpone doesn't fade. They sit there, rotting in the back of your mind, releasing a constant stream of mental poison. You're not anxious because life is unbearable. You're anxious because you refuse to face what's bearable now before it grows into something unbearable later. Think about it. What actually happens when you feel anxious? Your brain screams, danger. But most of the time, the danger is imaginary. It's not a lion chasing you. It's a text you didn't answer, a bill you didn't pay, a truth you don't want to admit. Your nervous system is firing alarms over problems you created and then refuse to handle. That's not fate, that's design. And here's the shocking part. You're addicted to it. You don't realize it, but your brain has turned anxiety into a habit loop. Anticipation, panic, relief. Over and over, like a drug. You worry, your body spikes adrenaline, you survive, and you convince yourself that worrying kept you safe. It didn't. It just drained you, then rewarded you with a cheap hit of relief. And now your brain thinks anxiety equals protection. Manufactured, rehearsed, reinforced. But let's drag this into relationships, because this is where it gets ugly. Anxiety makes you clingy, reactive, weak. You overanalyze every text. You replay every word. You suffocate attraction because you need constant reassurance. And here's the brutal reality. No one finds that magnetic. Anxiety repels. Confidence attracts. You want deep love, respect, admiration? Kill the anxious patterns that make you look like you can't even trust yourself. Let me hit you with another truth. Your anxiety is a liar. It tells you stories to keep you still. If you try, you'll fail. If you speak up, they'll leave. If you take the risk, you'll regret it. None of it is real. Your brain is rehearsing pain that hasn't even happened, while completely ignoring the pain you're already living by staying stuck. And here's the cost of believing that lie. Life keeps shrinking. Your world gets smaller every time you let anxiety dictate your choices. You stop going places, stop taking risks, stop connecting, until eventually your comfort zone is a coffin. You're alive, but you're not living. Now listen, killing anxiety isn't about eliminating every uncomfortable thought. That's impossible. It's about cutting off its fuel supply. And the fuel is avoidance. The fuel is procrastination. The fuel is pretending your problems will handle themselves. Here's your mindset shift. Anxiety doesn't shrink when you avoid. It shrinks when you attack. You have to train your brain to associate action with safety, not fear. That means making the call you've been dodging, saying the words you've been holding back, facing the thing you've been postponing until your body learns, see, I didn't die, nothing exploded, I'm fine. Psychology calls this exposure. Real life calls it growing a spine. The moment you face what you fear, the machine breaks, the gears slow, the noise fades, and suddenly you realize it wasn't the world that was overwhelming you, it was your refusal to step up. So here's the challenge. Today, write down the 3 things you've been avoiding. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Then attack the first one now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Because guess what? You'll never feel ready. Readiness is a lie anxiety feeds you to keep you still. Face one thing and you'll feel the shift instantly. The knot loosens, the static quiets, the machine loses power. And once you've felt that freedom, you'll wonder why you ever tolerated living in chains. Stop acting like your anxiety is bigger than you. It's not. It's manufactured, built by you, which means you can dismantle it. but only if you stop running and finally fight back. Anxiety is not a personality trait. It's not who you are. It's a pattern you keep rehearsing until it feels permanent. That's the trap. You've repeated the anxious cycle so many times that it's become part of your identity. You don't say, I feel anxious right now. You say, I am anxious. Do you realize how dangerous that is? You're hardwiring a temporary state into a permanent identity. And once you call it who you are, you stop fighting it. You start protecting it. But let's call this out for what it is. Anxiety is manufactured because it thrives on three things you keep handing it: uncertainty, avoidance, and overthinking. Strip away those inputs and the machine stalls. But instead of starving it, you feed it every day. You avoid difficult conversations. You delay decisions until they rot. You drown yourself in what-if scenarios that never happen. And then you act surprised when your mind feels like a war zone. That's not fate, it's training. You're training your brain to panic. Let's break down the psychology. The brain has a built-in survival system, the amygdala. Its job is to scan for danger and sound alarms. In the wild, that system kept you alive. But in your modern life, it's reacting to emails, unread messages, deadlines, or silence from someone you're attracted to. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a lion in the bushes and a text that hasn't been answered. The alarm is the same. The problem is, you keep reinforcing the alarm by treating every discomfort like a threat. Now let's get brutally real. Your anxiety is wrecking your relationships. You think it's invisible, but it's not. People feel your nervous energy. They sense your neediness. They see the way you hesitate, apologize too much, check your phone 5 times waiting for a reply. That doesn't create attraction, it kills it. Attraction runs on polarity, strength, certainty, presence. Anxiety is the opposite. It's weakness, uncertainty, absence. When you're lost in your own mental static, you can't be present with anyone else. And presence is what makes people feel drawn to you. If you can't anchor yourself, how can you expect anyone to want to anchor to you? Here's a harsh truth. People don't want to carry your anxiety. They may empathize with you for a while, but over time, it drains them. They start to pull back. Not because they don't care, but because no one wants to be around a walking storm that refuses to calm itself. And if you're honest, you know this is already happening. You've felt people slip away. You've watched attraction fade. And deep down, you know why. But here's the liberating part. You can flip this script faster than you think, because just as anxiety is manufactured, so is confidence. It's built by repetition, exposure, action. The same way you've been training your brain to fear, you can train it to trust. Start small. Take one thing that makes you anxious, speaking up in a meeting, making eye contact, saying no instead of yes, and do it. Don't wait until it feels comfortable. Don't wait until the fear disappears. Do it while the fear screams. Because every time you face it, the alarm weakens. Your brain learns, this isn't deadly. That's how you rewire the loop. And here's a mindset shift you need to tattoo into your brain. Confidence isn't the absence of anxiety, it's the decision to act in spite of it. Stop waiting for the feelings to align. They never will. You'll always feel fear at the edge of growth. But the act of moving forward while anxious is what kills anxiety's grip. That's where real power comes from. Let me be even harsher. Anxiety is selfish. When you're consumed by your own internal drama, you have no capacity for others. You're not listening, you're not present, you're not giving. You're locked in your head, and everyone around you feels it. You think you're hiding it, but you're not. People notice, and eventually they stop giving you energy because you're not giving any back. The way out? Shift your focus outward. Stop obsessing about yourself, your flaws, your fears, your image. Start asking, what does this moment need from me? When you move the spotlight away from yourself and onto action, service, presence, anxiety loses oxygen. Because anxiety is always me, me, me. Discipline is what needs to be done right now. So here's your next challenge. When you feel the panic rising, instead of spiraling, take one outward action. Call someone. Speak the truth you've been holding back. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Your brain needs new evidence, not more analysis. Because here's the raw reality. Your anxiety doesn't disappear by thinking. It disappears by doing. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll stop letting a fake machine dictate your real life. Anxiety doesn't own you. You're the one who keeps paying rent for it, and you can evict it any time you decide to act. Your anxiety isn't special. It's not unique. It's not a badge of identity. It's recycled fear dressed up as personality, and you've been wearing it like armor that's slowly crushing you. You need to hear this. People are not impressed by your anxiety. They don't admire it. They don't secretly find it attractive. They may sympathize, but sympathy doesn't build respect. Respect comes from control, and control comes from discipline. So let's rip away the illusion. Anxiety is not who you are. It's who you've chosen to be, over and over again. Every time you cave to avoidance, every time you give in to the what-if spiral, every time you let fear make the decision, you vote for anxiety, and your votes have shaped your identity. But here's the liberating twist. Identity is plastic. You can vote differently, starting now. Let's talk attraction again, because this is where most of you sabotage yourselves. Relationships aren't killed by lack of love. They're killed by lack of presence. Anxiety robs you of presence. You're sitting across from someone, but you're not really there. You're scanning their tone, their micro-expressions, their silence. You're in your head, calculating, overthinking, rehearsing. And the other person feels it. They don't feel your energy, they feel your absence. That's why people pull back. Not because you're unworthy, but because you're unavailable. Anxiety steals your ability to connect. And no amount of begging, texting, or clinging will fix that. What fixes it? Calm presence, grounded confidence, the willingness to sit in discomfort without spiraling. And let's be clear, calm isn't natural. It's trained, just like anxiety. You've trained yourself to panic at discomfort. Now you must retrain yourself to relax into it. That's the real skill. Not erasing fear, but anchoring yourself so deeply that fear can scream all at once and you don't move. Here's another harsh truth. Anxiety is selfish. It feels like suffering, but it's actually indulgence. Because it's all about you, your image, your failure, your fears. Meanwhile, life is passing. People around you are waiting for your presence, your strength, your leadership, and you're too busy obsessing about yourself to give it. That's why anxiety is poison in relationships. It drains without giving. So how do you kill it? You starve it. Starve it of avoidance, face what you fear. Starve it of overthinking, act before your brain talks you out of it. Starve it of identity. Stop calling yourself an anxious person and start calling yourself a disciplined one. And here's the psychology kicker. Your brain doesn't care about labels. It cares about evidence. If you start stacking evidence that you take action despite fear, your brain will follow. The identity shifts. The loop rewires. The anxiety machine shuts down. But you can't half commit. You can't dip a toe. You have to go all in. That means confronting the conversations you've avoided for years. That means finally setting boundaries instead of resenting people in silence. That means saying the truth out loud even when your voice shakes. Every action is a brick. Lay enough bricks and you'll build a fortress. Here's what you need to get. Fear doesn't disappear before you act. It disappears because you act. Waiting for the day you feel ready is the biggest scam anxiety sells. That day never comes. Action is the cure. Action is the reset. Action is the proof. So let me slap you with one last challenge. For the next 7 days, every time you feel the rise of anxiety, do one thing. Attack. Don't numb it. Don't scroll it away. Don't process it endlessly. Attack. Call, speak, move, decide. Action over rumination. Always. Do that for a week and you'll feel the shift. Your brain will learn, your body will relax, the machine will lose its grip. And you'll realize anxiety was never the monster you thought it was. It was just a habit you can break faster than you think. Stop lying to yourself. Stop romanticizing your anxiety. Stop hiding behind the excuse of being overwhelmed. You built the machine. You've been oiling it daily, and you are the only one who can dismantle it. Your anxiety is manufactured. Killing it is easier than you think.